Guys, welcome to Intothewestcomics. Run It Back edition. Listen, we named the dog Indiana. This week we're talking about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Spielberg couldn't make his James Bond movie, so he went and got James Bond and made it with Harrison Ford. I really enjoyed this movie. I remember, I was young still. Ish. I was young back then. The year was 1989. Such films as Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Glory.
Yes.
Dead Poets Society. Born on the 4th of July.
Wow.
Major League. Field of Dreams. Uncle Buck. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Harlem Nights.
Oh,
Lethal Weapon 2.
Yes.
Ghostbusters 2.
Yes.
And Paul's favorite, James Cameron, released The Abyss.
Oh,
That's actually a pretty good movie.
That's a big year.
That is
What a year.
That's a big year.
You didn't mention a single flop in that. I loved all of those movies.
Ghostbusters. Okay.
Ghostbusters 2 was. I
liked it.
It made
I
money.
liked it too.
Yeah, it made money.
Vigo.
That guy's like an actual crazy person.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's
The
good.
actor.
Yeah.
All right.
Method
Anyways,
acting.
I digress.
When you think about Last Crusade, what's some of your memories there, Big A?
Oh man,
The Rock.
Well, the opening scene was just pretty cool. It was kind of like you never really knew Indiana Jones as a really young, like a kid.
right.
So like that cool scene, like when he was stuck in like the mountain and he was
Like
the
an
last
Eagle
and
Scout
then
or whatever.
Everyone else was lost and he was trying to run away and steal the artifact. And then at the end of that scene, it was a cool fade. He gave him the hat, the bank robber, and that was his hat that he's worn
And it
forever.
segues to him being beat up
in the boat. Yeah.
All, yeah.
But yeah.
That's an origin story.
Yeah, and then Sean Connery as the dad.
Thanks, Marcus.
Is just really great. He's just an amazing actor with Harrison Ford. They kind of mesh together perfectly, going off and on with each other. The dad's kind of like, "Why are you shooting at people?" And then he's like, "Because they're trying to kill us." It's just kind of funny. They just yell at each other the whole time. And the motorcycle scene is one of the coolest scenes when he's just like on the side, just like yelling at him the whole time. And he's like trying to save them, and he's like yelling at him, like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm trying to save us."
I like how he's trying to smile at him, like he goes, "That's pretty impressive, right?"
Yeah.
And he's just staring at him, like what? No, whatever. Like look what I did, kind of thing.
Kill
And he's
some people.
like, "I don't get it," you know, whatever. And he's when they're getting away off the on the I don't know what you call
plane,
it,
the balloon,
the balloon, the
Yeah,
blimp.
I remember that.
The blimp,
The Zeppelin.
the Zeppelin, and he says, "Well, worked out. Get out of here." He's like, "Well, not yet. We'll see what happens when the Germans show up." You know, whatever.
It was crazy, right?
The Hindenburg. Yeah.
But yeah, the whole end scene is great when he has to go through all the trials and the meme of the century that everyone uses when the knight says he chose poorly.
Yeah.
That's one of the memes everyone knows. But yeah, the whole movie is probably my favorite of the Indiana Jones. I can watch that. Like if it turned, I can go and watch it every day. It's like never like bores.
Yeah.
It's like boring. It's perfect. I
Same
think.
here, man. I
Yeah.
agree.
Sonny, you agree over there?
I do, honestly. It really shows like his last crusade, like it like they go in depth on it,
What do you think
like,
about the boulders in this film?
I think they played such a huge part in this movie that
How did they progress from Raiders till now?
it was a different crusade. This one, it's his last, and the boulders, dude.
It's his last.
They rolled,
Dre's just hiding.
and it was honestly it was captivating. It was captivating.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah,
It's
it was a
actually
great
Sonny's
movie.
favorite movie.
Ball. What was your opinion about the boulders?
I don't know how to follow up an eloquent review of Indiana
boulder,
Jones
the
and the
fire.
Last Crusade.
Give me a boulder thought or two.
Boulder thought or two.
The hat.
No, man.
My favorite part of the movie was a hat.
It's, yeah, there is a hat.
Origin story.
There is actually a hat.
No crease.
This movie, it's a really good time. I think it aged like really well.
Yeah, it did.
And I feel like it's a very fun adventure movie, but still true to life and like the father-son element. Where sometimes it doesn't matter what you do. Your dad's gonna be like, "What are you doing?" But then at the end of the day, when Indy's hanging on that thing and going to reach for the cup right after he just saw Elsa do it, but he's like, "Oh man, I saw," and his dad's like, "Let go, son. Like, leave it."
Yeah.
This is the thing I've been looking through my whole life, and I'm not. Just let it go.
Right.
And I really love that dynamic. And I think it's interesting to compare this movie to Solo. And what I mean by that is you get the origin of a famous Harrison Ford character. And this movie does it so much better than Solo. Whereas in Solo, when it's like, because if you think about it, the way Indy got his name is silly.
Yeah.
The
Right.
way Solo got his name in canon now is silly.
Right.
But one works better because it's played comedically and it works.
Right.
Whereas you don't know why he's called Indiana Jones, and they get his dad, and his dad, they call him Indy, and he goes, that was the dog's name. Why did
We
you,
named
why
the
did
dog
you?
Indiana.
Yeah. And then in Solo, he's like, I'm Solo, and it just doesn't work as well because it doesn't
you by yourself.
play as much
I'm Solo.
fun. And he's a kid when he takes it, and of course the kid's gonna do weird stuff like take the dog's name.
Right.
And River Phoenix is great as young
Yeah.
Indiana
Bro,
Jones.
the mannerisms, everything. He
Yeah.
acts
And-
like a young Indiana Jones. Was great.
This
Teenage
movie
heartthrob.
does something that most, I think, directors like Spielberg's not, like other directors aren't capable of. There's a low speed kind of car chase with the tank where he can't get off the side of it. And he's about to get ran over by the treads in this rock. And there's so much tension involved, and the tank is driving like 5 miles per hour. There's nowhere he can go. And I think that's just a testament to how good these movies are, how exciting they are. And then he's hanging on the side of the thing, and he climbs up, and they're all like, "Oh, Indy," and he's like, "What are you guys doing?"
He's looking too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what are they looking at?
Yeah. But I love this movie. It's my favorite indie movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, and I could watch it over and over.
I like how he has the mannerisms and he copies or mimics how Harrison Ford would in the role. That he's looking around and he's saying everybody's lost but me. River Phoenix is saying that everybody's lost but me. Looking around, he tries to jump on the horse moves. It's like an old Buster Keaton type of thing. Like, the horse gets out of the way and you're trying to make your escape, whatever. And you get the origin of why he's afraid of snakes. He's on that circus train car, and he falls into the thing with all the
And he
snakes.
gets the whip.
And then he gets the whip, and
that's when he got the whip.
he gets the scar. He gets the scar on his chin
that was the
from the
yeah.
whip.
Oh, I never noticed that until now. Literally just now.
That's when he did it.
moment beforehand when
when he got it.
there is a snake in front of something, like just before
doesn't
that,
care.
and he's like, and his friend is all afraid. He's like, "Bro, it's just a snake."
It's only a snake.
And then like 10 minutes later, he's around a bunch of them. He's like, "Okay, maybe these are actually scary."
Yeah.
Guys, you have any thoughts over there at just about anything? But do you have any thoughts?
Captivating movie.
Shane, I know you loved this movie.
Yes, it's one of my favorites. One of my favorite parts is when Indy and his dad went to to Berlin to get the Flügelflagen.
I thought you were going to say
escape.
Coachella.
The Flugenflagen.
Oh, I forgot Hitler was in this.
Flugenflagen?
movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
How's it
that's,
pronounced?
yeah, that's
Flughafen
that's a great part,
Berlin.
yeah.
Berlin
part.
Airport.
Yeah.
It was dope.
I thought that was a really well put together scene.
It was very nice.
It was captivating.
Or he throws the German officer off of the blimp, and he tells the guests,
yeah.
he's like, no ticket.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh, yeah,
Zeppelin.
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
And
pretty
they're like, hey.
That was great,
Such
bro.
good writing.
I don't know if you could tell, but Sonny's
The
hasn't seen this,
Luftwaffe.
and Shane hasn't watched it in 30 years.
That is true. I missed it. I have missed it.
Dre, did you watch Indiana Jones and Last Crusade?
Not in
I
10
bits
years.
and pieces, but yeah, when this is, early 2000s, I would say, and I don't think I had much interest.
You gotta talk into
I'm
them.
sorry, yeah, it's been a long time, but I do know.
He's
couple
embarrassed.
scenes in
okay.
my head, but
Couple
not enough to
episodes
even
ago.
discuss anything. But
It's captivating. It's
ditto.
Just say it's
I
Captain.
think it was a great way to end a trilogy
8.2
too.
on
Just
IMDb.
oh,
Yeah,
nice.
solid, yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it was
check it out.
a great way to end a trilogy because even just like story, you got all the origin stuff that really works well with this movie in terms of like tying in and kind of filling those holes and like where his origin, where he came from and that kind of thing. And River Phoenix, rest in peace, he was great. But it also was good cinematically in terms of like I used to love, especially in the 80s, like when they would do freeze frames at the end credits. But I also liked it when the movie seemed to continue when the credits were going in, and then the
Yes.
horses riding, they're all riding into the sunset together with the credits rolling. That's amazing.
Yeah,
to me,
I
that's
love that.
that's great. Like classic filmmaking. I wish they would do that more instead of all the black.
Yeah.
And then you have
The artwork, stuff
then
like
you have
that.
and then you have the artwork, and then you have maybe like a mid credit scene, which is real dumb, like Peter Quill eating with his granddad or whatever. Who cares? But like seeing them riding off into the sunset and things like that was great movie magic to me. Without being magic.
The story's over, but the show goes on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
What do you
to
think about the fact that we get to see an older Sean Connery? That
He's
he's
great.
really not doing much after this movie. Yeah, we don't really get to see him.
Yeah.
Like you're always like,
Like The Rock. I
envisioning.
think he did The Rock.
He did
after
The
this.
Rock
In
like,
that
like
forest.
4 or 5 years after that. I think he did The
That was
Rock.
like the last stuff. Yeah.
But
He
like,
hasn't done-
as far as seeing him in older, he's an older version, obviously, of what Indy could eventually become.
And he plays a goof. How often does he play a goof?
Yeah, and he's just kind of like, I don't know, I mean, whatever, and he calls him Junior, and Indy snaps and shoots the German soldiers and says, "Don't call me Junior." You know,
that was pretty
that's
cool.
Yeah, and
fantastic.
one of my favorite scenes is when he has the umbrella and he's like, Indy's freaking out. He doesn't know what to do because the plane's coming. They're gonna die, and he just has the umbrella and he starts.
All the birds are flying off the beach.
And he's like, "What is the line that he says?" I forget the line.
Those are a lot of birds.
No, there's like a funny.
I think
line.
that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I think that was the
Those are
line.
so many birds.
There's a lot of birds, sweetheart.
But I also, I love that he's like clearly just as intelligent, if not smarter than Indy.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just doesn't have the physical
Yeah, yeah,
prowess as Indy does.
Right.
And I think one of the funniest parts of this whole movie is that Elsa tricked both of them by sleeping
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
And they're
That
both
was
like,
That's usually how it goes.
and they're like, whatever.
Yeah,
And
pretty
they're
much.
like-
Yeah, I agree,
It's funny.
Sonny. I do.
But
He said,
yeah,
"Stop saying
that's
sleep."
one of my favorite scenes where Indy realizes that she also slept with his dad, and he's like,
his face is
he's like, what? And his dad's like,
Oh.
I
He
mean,
says,
did
"You're
it
old
too."
enough to
He's
be
like,
her grandfather."
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
She got around.
Captivating.
yeah. She's like,
For the Führer.
Yeah.
I will get around.
bro.
For the Luftwaffe.
I think
Flughafen.
I think that all of these movies are really fun.
Flurgenbergen?
And I think that if they hadn't made another Indiana Jones movie after this, I would have been fine with it.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Like it
closed out well.
It closes out well as far as
Yep.
the character.
I
I'm
agree,
saying
yeah.
it pays a good
Yeah.
service.
Because I grew up with these movies, but none had came out while I was a kid because they came out before I was alive, and I watched them as a kid, and I went, man, I really would love to see another Indiana Jones. And I guess maybe that's why I'm not as hard as Crystal Skull as some people are. And this new one, obviously Austin didn't love it. I did. I just love the character of Indiana Jones. It's kind of like Jurassic Park, even though the newer ones kind of suck. It's fun to watch the characters come back and the dinosaurs run around and stuff.
Yeah,
So
you
for
still eat
me, it was
dinosaurs.
like to be able to see that get a release in my lifetime and be able to go to the theater and experience that. Well, this holds kind of a special place in my heart because but yeah, whatever, go on.
Well, that's
To kind of love these characters. It's the same thing with Force Awakens was more this than for me than the prequels. I was still very young when the prequels came out. But it was like, oh my gosh, there's an Indiana Jones movie coming out and I can go in theaters and see it. And with Star Wars, there's a Star Wars movie coming out and I can go see it. And so I do agree with you from a standpoint, if there was never another one, this is great. But I do love that they did at least try to continue it for the next generation with the same actor and with the same director and producers and stuff. And I really did appreciate that. And I don't think they're terrible movies.
Crystal Skull wasn't
Yeah.
bad. I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I really
I like that
enjoyed
one.
that I got to have that experience as a kid and then have that experience in the theater.
Yeah.
Like I
that is-
loved the nuking the fridge scene the first time I watched it. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that was crazy. That was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it was
But I digress.
Sonny, do you want to do grades?
Yeah, it was so captivating that I would like to know
Captivating out of 10.
what out of 10 do you guys give this movie? What percent or out of 10?
So for me, I'll say because I think I gave Temple of Doom 9. I think I gave
It's a high
that one.
score.
Yeah, so I would give this one probably a 9 as well. Actually, I like this one. I like this one.
Probably 10 out of 10 for me because I can watch this movie anytime, anywhere. It's just a
Same.
great, yeah, right, Sonny? Anytime, anywhere.
Good, man. So good.
Loves them boulders.
Loving the boulders. Big 10 for those guys.
I'm also going to say 10 out of 10. And you know what? I'm going to say this just for people who have been watching this whole series. If you have watched the Temple of Doom video and Sonny convinced you that he saw it, he did not see that
What are
movie.
you talking about, dude? I saw it.
I'm not going to let this
Exposed.
charade
I
convince
saw it, dude.
He watched what you need to like a recap, 10-minute recap video on
Shout outs to the YouTube channel Movies in Minutes. I saw 3 minutes.
We're at dinner and he's like, "Guess what? I got you believing.
I didn't see it.
I got you believing. I saw it, right?"
I
We're like,
was so
he's
good.
like, I
I
did.
believed him.
Everyone believed me.
I'm never gonna believe him again.
Everyone believed me. I fooled you. You fools.
I go, there's no way that somebody would lie about this.
Right? It was so good, dude.
Anyways, 10 out of 10. I love this movie. It's
Yeah, I'd give it a 9. I really enjoyed it. I like Harrison Ford. I liked it. I love him in this
He was
role.
in his prime in this. I
Yes,
think.
he is.
Yeah.
as an older actor or
He
getting
was
there.
good. Like
He's like 42.
you get to see him be a little bit more playful.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's got to babysit Willie
Like he's gonna
and
do this
Short
again.
Round in Temple of Doom. You know, he's becoming like very serious, and there's obviously emotional baggage in Raiders of the Lost Ark because of his
Right.
relationship prior with Marion.
Right.
He's kind of in his groove. Like when he's in this the role,
One
and you
would
can
say-
see it on screen.
And
And
this is his last crusade.
a lot of people could say that it was the Last Crusade. I give it a 9.
They'd be wrong,
but
actually.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Shane, what do you give this movie? Big grade.
Well, considering I was probably 7 years old when I saw it, I'm going to give it a 7.
You're older than I am. You were 15 or 16. You were.
Oh, was I?
Yeah.
Then I give it a 16.
Wow.
Quote of the day.
Yes, dude.
Quote of the day.
Yes.
Big Hog. What do you think?
Wasn't even alive yet.
Not yet. 93, baby.
Get the movie in '93.
I'm gonna say 7 because I'm rocking the 7 right now. So I'm gonna
Okay.
go with Jane's.
Yeah.
I
Big hog, baby.
think
saying.
it was captivating, and I would give it a 9 out of 10 for sure.
Let's go.
All right. Well,
Let him sip his.
so for this Run It Back series, we're going to be done for a little bit, but when we get back to it, we'll be doing some one-off superhero films,
Okay.
maybe a
excited for this one.
Blade,
See, that's okay.
Fantastic
yeah.
Four, Rise of
Watchmen.
Silver Surfer,
Daredevil.
Watchmen, Daredevil, Catwoman. Just kidding. We'll be talking about some of those movies. That's a hard movie to watch.
Put it on
It's-
mute. You'll be all right.
if you turn off the sound, it's good. I give it a 16.
I thought you Sonny actually likes the Catwoman movie.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
It's
Been a pleasure.
We will talk to you soon.
Punch.
Shane, what do you got to say?
Sucker punch.
I don't know. This was, good night, everybody. I love you guys.
All right, good. All right, we'll get out of here. Guys, have a
It's
great night.
captivating. It's captivating.
If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. We really would appreciate it. Throw us a like, share the show,
Just trying to end it the way we started.
make Paul happy, put a
what?
smile on his face.
Yeah.
And
Big
that's-
hog out.
Big Hog out. Have a great night, everybody.
Are you
Good
doing
night.
Dre's outro? What?
Yeah, I'm like, what are you stealing that?